God's Pirate here, Doordasher. I just wanted to stop by and let you know how everything was going with this Doordash scenario, which is only a piece of my life, but apparently on YouTube that's about the only thing I can talk about without getting into too much trouble. So here's what we got. I have two territories I work out of 90% of the time. The first territory is my neighborhood. This is what I call the Fast and the Furious. It's right next to downtown and it has a lot of people. I'm in a city well over 1 million people. My area is what you call the Fast and Furious. The average is $5 3 miles, and DoorDash usually keeps me busy. You can make it. Just keep going back and forth. You can clear well over $100 in a day, and if you put in enough hours, you can surpass that no problem. My second territory is next to my territory or my neighborhood where I live. In this territory, you drive farther, but you get paid more. I always preach to people that you got to adapt. But my problem is I can't adapt as fast as DoorDash is falling. And let me tell you why. My area, which I used to call the Fast and Furious, well, it's no longer considered the Fast and Furious. It's considered the dead and dumb. This is a no tipping uh, territory now. About a little over half of my, I guess, orders that I decline, not only do they not have a tip, they're only paying $2 and I'm still going the same miles. I had in the last week probably got about 10 orders that paid over $1 a mile, and that's just ridiculous. I don't cherry pick, but $1 a mile or over, to me that's okay. But under $1 a mile, I don't necessarily like taking them because it's just the patience, it's the hours. See, this is not a job. This is not just a job. I have respect for all dashers. This is an investment. And I don't care what anybody else says, but when you start paying for my car, my phone, my insurance, my cell phone bill, when Dasher starts helping me with that, then you could stand there and say this is not an investment. But this is an investment, and most of the time it does pay. But I guarantee you, this territory is no longer the Fast and the Furious. And the one next to me, which is farther out west in the city, where I have to drive a little bit farther, that became the Fast and Not So Furious because it's not keeping me busy at all. It's not. I am not dead in the water, but what used to pay me a lot more now pays me what this territory pays me now for longer miles and a longer time. So I got to learn to adapt. And I think one of my biggest problems with adapting is I don't feel like I need to drive farther away than a city that has 1,200,000 people to make a decent living. I mean, I don't know what's going on. I know the number one problem here in this location is oversaturation. I get that part. But this adapt thing, where I got to take care of not only this family, but also my investments, this has become a dead app to me. And the only way I can be able to adapt, believe me, is invest more in gas and more in hours. For Christmas, this was a mistake. I decided to take on the idea that we do patterns as human beings, as Pedro said, another dasher, top dasher that's a gig tuber. And he was right. We do look for patterns. But my problem is if you make the average of $150 a day, turning in a good 8 hours and hustling, you expect to keep going like that. And all of a sudden, just like January of 2021, you go from 150 to 30. That's something that I don't even consider looking for a pattern. It's something that I considered no longer reliable. So I don't rely on DoorDash to pay my bills anymore like I used to, because it used to pay. It used to pay. It doesn't pay anymore. So my biggest problem now is now I got to learn to adapt. I'm not doing more hours, but I feel like I'm going to have to drive farther away to the north side of town, or I'm going to regret it, but to probably work downtown, which I absolutely hate. And there's many reasons why. I made another video why I don't go downtown in DoorDash, as much as DoorDash pushes me to go downtown. So for this holiday, I'm going to say I understand your struggle. I think we're all going through it. But you're going to have to adapt. We're going to have to adapt to this invisible problem that has no concurrent solution to. We stepped into something I don't understand. And what I really don't understand is for an app to stand there and scream that they're losing money. I don't understand how they are losing money. I'm the one that's losing money. You're still getting things. I mean, where's your investment at, DoorDash? I see very little. I mean, you're an online app. I understand that you got to pay the people to answer the phone, and you got to pay for orders missing. But I pretty much calculated it, and I know how much you're making off me a day, or used to. So my adaptation is now I got to go back and forth. That's my answer. I got to sometimes do the long haul and make just so much. Then I got to come back in my area and somehow make it work, make it pay for my gas, and then put a few extra dollars. But I guarantee you, I did make a short saying, I'm sorry, DoorDash, but it's not just you. I kind of meant that. I mean, pay me fairly and I'll go solo. It'll just be you. But until we figure out what exactly you're doing, which is not trying to keep a pattern or keep people comfortable about doing this, then yeah, I'm going to have to move on. I mean, that's all there is to it. You can't stand there and expect somebody to work 8, 10 hours a day and they make less than $100 for their investment. Remember, you're not paying for any of this. And then I got to pay taxes. So, with that said, with all you DoorDashers out there that's watching this, and for all you other people that use DoorDash or any other gig apps, right now it's become a very, very big struggle, and it shouldn't be. It should be easy and it should be simple, but for some reason they've made it complicated. So, with that much said, I honestly do wish you a very Merry Christmas, and I honestly hope that you can financially be about as independent as I'm trying to be. And I hope your bills do get paid. I hope your kids and your family and your loved ones get everything that they want. But with that much said, I promise, DoorDash, you're going to have to start doing better because you're not losing. I am.